just everything to suck.
You are wonderful right there. As we are here live, episode 194. Tyler McGurk, Casey Breyer, Brian Johnson here. Brian giving us a little London update there. 6:30 start. It's kind of nuts to think that's when we're starting there. Games out here in the West Coast, but it's all for the greater good of the greatest monopoly in America, and that is the NFL that owns it, and they get it done. They're going to be on they're going to play a football game on every country by the time we're dead, right? That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think Goodell's the rich guy in his living room with the stogie, and he's got all the 20s in his hand. He's like, I'm rich. I'm freaking rich.
I bet those property taxes are tough.
Like Scrooge McDuck.
Jumping into coins. Underrated intro. Is that one of the best intros of all time? Because somebody was arguing that because of yesterday, Tyler, because of what was it, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Those were the two I remember. That the intro, the start to that movie, and then the start to that cartoon. Those are underrated starts to movies. I'll have to look. In case you do top tens, that's what I'll have to start doing with it. Tyler, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I mean, I had a long week working. It was hot as crap in the middle of the week, and then it started raining yesterday during our baseball game. So it's been an interesting week.
Well, there's a big accident here on Highway 101 near Geyserville. As we were driving home from the soccer game, we were I was like, you could just tell it was a dead stop. It was like, I'm not hitting this exit for probably 2 hours. And people are starting to turn on the freeway there. And I was like, no, all right, I'm on. So we just turned, somehow trying to get back on the freeway. We try to wrap back around, go back to home through the back roads of Geyserville. That hits a stop. I'm like, we have no gas. We got to go back. So I turned back around there. We head back to Healdsburg. I had to fill up. Then we had to go all the way around Lake Sonoma way, make it back home. So, but it was a pretty bad accident. Somebody came over the top at Canyon Road. There's they have goes up a hill there at one part. The guy rolled down. So, it was a big. I think it was closed for 4 to 5 hours there too.
It's almost like me and you on Fort Bragg.
Yeah. Or it's probably me and Tyler on 101 in Petaluma. That's probably the one I felt like for a second. I was like, thank God nobody was to the right of us there. Thank you, Lord. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon during heavy traffic on a Friday, nobody was there. Thank you very much for that. Brian, I know you got to be excited. Your Niners got the W this week.
Yeah. I mean, it was semi-excited. I thought it could have been a better performance, but I'll take the W.
You got the big dub, though. You got the big W. Your boy Brock. He played. What do you think? Did he play well? Were you impressed with Brock? I know last week was tough. We couldn't even. It was tough. It was tough with the way we lost to the Cardinals. This week you bounced back, but you said maybe not impressed in some ways. But what did you think? How was Brock there?
Yeah, Brock looked good the whole game. I still like that he uses his legs. I know there's some critics that don't like him doing that, but I feel like he's definitely showing that he's the franchise of our team, and we'll see how he does next week, because next week's game is probably the game of our year. So,
it definitely is. We'll get to that one in a second for sure. On that case. Purdy is now what I heard a couple other you say talking heads come out and be like, yeah, I wasn't sure on Purdy, but now I really do like his mobility in the pocket, which most people around here that have been watching him know that he had and always was. That was kind of his good skill there, and which kind of made him different than the other quarterbacks. So Purdy looks like he gets back on track a little bit here. I mean, they tie the division. The Niners have still that good opportunities, but what do you make of the win here for the Niners case?
Tale of two halves. The same thing keeps happening. They get up by double-digit points, and for whatever reason, they're just having a hard time closing it out. I mean, you're up by 17, and to let the game get to within 6 points, and I'm driving. It's just, I don't know if it's bad clock management or what's going on, but that they just need to figure it out. I mean, they look like the better team as clearly as you're watching the game, and then you look at the score, and it's a one-possession game. It's it almost doesn't make sense. But speaking of Brock Purdy, though, I think, he's the dude's that dude. I mean, the way he moves around the pocket, as we're seeing here, is just he's so elusive, which is the one thing. It's it looks like he's always going to get sacked, and then just has that intangible of just getting away. So,
does he remind you of anybody?
Not really.
I can't really think of anybody he really like reminds me of. Like, would it be like Russell Wilson? But I don't know, like in the pocket type of thing. I was trying to think like who he kind of reminds me of. Jake DeLobe.
Don't disrespect him.
I would say Drew Brees, but Drew Brees wasn't really mobile. So
no, I was trying to think like who would be Purdy's comparison there. Tyler, you got one that maybe there's a Purdy comparison?
It's way off, but like he's like a NFL version of Johnny Manziel, the way he can move in the pot, like behind the line of scrimmage and sort of run around and just make crazy plays. But Johnny Manziel couldn't do it at this level.
He has like that.
That'd be like, yeah, he has like the sort of like floating. He can throw off all like platforms. He sidearm, feet moving in all different directions, and just he gets it done.
Yeah. Samuel finally got back on track too.
Yeah. But then it's like Samuel does good, and then Ayuk's nowhere to be seen again. So it's like they can't get on the same page on that.
I mean, does that really bother you though? Or like, I mean, it sounds like it does, but maybe they're just taking they're taking away one guy to maybe leave another one open. I mean, that can be a benefit too, right? In that sense. So maybe that's. It's not. I don't know. I hear what you're saying. It'd be nice if you can get all the weapons going.
I would especially next week, it would be nice to get both of those guys rolling at the same time, especially against the Chiefs.
To me, when you get Kittle going too, that's when he had a good game. So,
that was the key to getting better in the red zone was Kittle being used more.
Yeah, and you guys, were you getting a little nervous there when they were starting to make a little comeback?
Yeah, I guess I was just getting frustrated. I was just getting frustrated because it seemed like Shanahan kind of took his foot off the gas in the second half, and I feel like that's always seems to be how they get back in the game. It says that's something you cannot do against the Chiefs next week. That was the only point that I was making.
Yeah, you guys host them October 20th next Sunday. There, I think it's a 1:30 start basically. There versus Kansas City. How much stock do you guys put in that game? Looking ahead to that one, is that like is that kind of? I mean, you're 3-3. Obviously, need the win too. So I don't know, Tyler. How much stock do you put into that matchup?
It's a big game. I mean, we're playing the Kansas City Chiefs. They're back to that Super Bowl champs. They beat us last year in the Super Bowl. We are 0-4 since Shanahan, as Brian has pointed out on Twitter, since we've taken them on. But, I mean, half the league hasn't beaten Mahomes since Mahomes has entered the league. It's going to be a tough game. If they lose, the season's not over. I'm not going to be like, oh, no, the season's over, fire everybody. If they win, it's a big win. I think it means more to us than the Chiefs. We're at home. Yeah. I expect a good performance. The defense needs to step up. The offense leaves me no worries. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. They have weapons. But the defense has been god-awful. And the special teams is even worse than that.
The special teams are what's going to worry you in the playoffs.
You guys are pretty banged up in the secondary, though, Tyler. Isn't Mustafa out, too? And then sounds like Hufunga. I don't know. Seems like you guys are just filling in guys right now in the secondary.
Your rookie
are they finally, after that game-sealing pick, are they finally going to play Renardo Green? I mean, God, play that kid. He's really good.
Yeah, your rookies. Who was the running back? He had a chance to score at the end. For some reason, he didn't, but Renardo. He did. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, that looks like he was definitely trying to slide down. Shanahan's like, no,
I guess my point with the tweet with the Shanahan thing was at some point you have to prove you can beat a team, or it's just like they own you.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. That's there's certain teams you just cannot get over the hump, and you have to be able to break that. It happens all the time in sports, and maybe it's a regular season game, but we'll see. Maybe it would be like you guys beating the Eagles last year. You know what I mean? Kind of have that type of vibe again. Get if you beat them, right? That kind of maybe gets the juices back a little bit there. So
because I feel like we played Dallas on Sunday night after that, so we'd have a good chance to be 5-3 going into the bye week, which would be huge.
Yeah. What do you got, Case?
I was gonna say it's still remarkable. The Raiders are the last team to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah,
because of 2 pick sixes. It was like that. I think that was one of the hey, if our defense can score, we might have a chance of winning. That's the one thing we have there with it. Tyler, any kind of final thoughts of the Niners here? I got you saw some of Purdy's highlights there up on the screen, so during it. So yeah, he was good. So what would you make of any final thoughts here on the Niners Thursday and kind of looking ahead here to big game Sunday?
The special teams has to be better. The kicker, he made his field goals, but there's something that leaves a lot to be desired with how far he can kick the ball on these kickoffs, and his range from field goal range seems like it's not outside of 50 yards, which in today's NFL is a big handicap. But, I mean, as far as the stars go, they're fine. They're going to be able to run the ball. Like I said, Granado, they averaged 6.9 yards per carry last on 33 carries. The Pooney guy is the best offensive guard maybe in the NFL so far these first 6 weeks. I'm not worried about this team at all. I do think they need to get the special teams going, though. They can't be this bad.
What do you got? This is for Brian.
Obviously, the faithful, when they show up and travel, man, it's like we're playing at a home game, you know. And, so it's the faithful, it's my team, and it's just always fun with you guys.
He's talking to you, Brian. He's talking to you on that one. He's got they showed up. They showed up there in Seattle. They get the W. It's got to probably always feel good when you beat in Seattle. If I were you guys, that's got to be like for me winning in Denver.
And I am going to make a TMZ comment right now too. Taylor Swift will be on Japan tour, so we will not see Taylor at that game. So that's going to be huge.
That's good inside information. That is. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that'll be tuning in just to look for it, and then they'll find out and say, "It's enough. I'm out. I will not watch now because of that information." So that's good. All right, so that's the Niners there looking ahead there. At Casey, we have Mr. O'Connell. He gets named the quarterback. We kind of felt like this might happen at some point this year. The Raiders go 2-3 under Minshew. The interception last week just it cost him his job, basically, at the end of the day. There's O'Connell's stats so far this year. Didn't really look that great against Denver. Last week, he looked okay against Carolina when he's in. He is what he is. Raiders, Steelers today in Vegas. What do you think? Get the W? The Steelers don't have necessarily a lethal offense, so we should be able to hang in the game.
If I was a betting man, I would not bet on the Raiders at all this year just because they're so up and down. They're hard to figure out. I mean, the losses they have are terrible losses, and the ones they have are, I mean, the Browns, call it what it is, but they're both wins against the North, and usually it's hard for AFC North teams. But I definitely think Justin Fields, for the Steelers, he's definitely a lot more mobile than Wilson. Seems to be getting better every week with Pittsburgh. Kind of stalled out the last couple weeks, I guess, in a sense, but I don't know. I like the move going with O'Connell. You said it best. You can't throw a 100-yard interception. You can't throw the ball backwards and cause more points. Like, there's so many plays that Minshew's made, and it's not only the plays that he makes, is when he's making them. Like, they're game-changing plays. It's not just when you're down by 15 or it's like 3-point games where you got a chance to really put the team away. And like you said, it cost him his job. And so if Aiden AOC can just not turn that ball over, give the defense a realistic chance, and not have them play 40 minutes on defense and actually give them a breather, I think they'll be all right. So it'll be kind of a slobber knocker game, I think, today. But I think the Raiders pull out the W.
I mean, like I said, the Steelers don't have a great offense in that sense. So, I mean, Fields can be dangerous. They lost to him before, but I think we'll see.
I heard that the Steelers are losing confidence in Fields, that there's one more mediocre game, and I think it would be a bad decision, but they're thinking about going to Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of with you. I give Fields a little bit more time, but he does have a hard time making plays with his arm consistently. I mean, that would frustrate me if I was an offensive career. Like, just stay with the play, man. Like, he does seem like he gets out of it a little, in my opinion, on some things. But then he'll make a spectacular play once in a while as well. Tyler, what do you think? Think about our Raiders get the job done, or do you think the Steelers get it done?
I mean, this feels like a game the Raiders would win when they bring in the backup quarterback. They're playing a team that is
we get the backup
that doesn't have a great offense, so they're not going to get blown out, or you would think they're not going to get blown out unless AOC really poops the bed.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders are going to hang in there. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it comes down to either a Boswell field goal or a Carlson field goal at the end. I think that's where this game is headed.
Brian, do you think our Raiders get it done?
I think the key is going to be keeping, T.J. Watt, see what he does. If he's in the backfield terrorizing your quarterback, I think the Steelers win. But if you can, if you can take him out of the game, I think the key with Justin Fields is getting up on him early because he just can't come back.
It's the Steelers. I never feel good about playing the Steelers. So it's just one of those teams, right? Case. It's like it doesn't matter how it's like. Usually, it's always a tough game.
Will AOC have the magic of Bruce Gronkowski on his side?
Well, if he wins, will Antonio Pierce say, "This is the guy. He's my man"? After one game, get extras. That's my quarterback.
Did you guys see that video of John Gruden going over Jaden Daniels? I thought he was on some sort of drugs or something. I don't know.
He's on the drug of football. That's what he loves.
Shred him.
Y2 banana. That's what we want. Let's go to one. Devontae Adams. I said he might not. There's a world he just doesn't get traded. We debated this kind of a little bit on Talking the Gridiron about what he's worth. I said if you're the Raiders, you probably want a second round pick, but I don't see anybody giving them the second round pick. But that's what it sounds like they want, and rumors are by Big Adam that the Adams is the Raiders don't want to pick up the salary too on it, which whatever, you might as well. You hold the power at this point still with the trade, but I still don't think he gets traded. Case, you think he's out still?
He's going to get traded at some point. Right now, it's just costing the Raiders $1 million, pretty much game checks $1 million. So once the price goes down, teams are either going to use him for the back end of just a rental year, or they think that they can somehow persuade and want to sign him for a restructured deal afterwards. But he'll get traded eventually. I don't. If you want to,
you think he's gone this year? Then they traded him by the deadline.
Gone this year for sure.
Brian, do you know when the actual deadline is for the trade deadline?
November 12, right, or something like that.
Is it that?
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, I don't know. I just think it's going to be a similar thing with that we were doing with Ayuk this offseason. They're just big price on Devontae Adams, what they want. I think that's going to be the reason. I don't think Adams is going anywhere.
Okay, it's November 5th, so you're right around that time. I get you. Yeah, I think he stays. I don't think he gets traded. Tyler, what do you think? Tyler, can you hear me? Maybe not.
It's like he's frozen.
Come back on, Tyler, in just a second. Can you hear me now? No, yeah, I think with O'Connell. With O'Connell coming in, my favorite part of yesterday's reports when I was listening to looking up stuff with him coming on, it was and they were talking about Adams too. And they're like, Adams really likes O'Connell, that's why he got the start. I'm like, he's not even played.
Exactly.
I was like, what are we talking about? I
thought it was funny how Pierce was saying, well, Adams is at the facilities practicing, and he makes it seem like he's going to be a Raider for life or something.
For life, he's definitely going to be. He's going to be a Raider for 4 weeks, maybe. That's right. Tyler,
your remote. Yeah, I think Adams gets traded. I think the difference between Adams and Ayuk is the Raiders really aren't expecting to win anything this year. They're just trying to make a playoff spot. They don't want to pay this contract to Adams, who doesn't want to be there. He's not going to come back until he's traded. And even if he doesn't get traded, I'd expect him to play maybe 3 games the rest of the year. I don't think he's coming back just because he didn't get traded to play with AOC. He seems very upset about his situation, which he put himself in. He left Aaron Rodgers to go to, Derek Carr at the time, but he wasn't really – Raiders were still doing the same things. I don't know. I think he gets traded.
Jets, Saints.
But I guess my point with the whole Adams thing is that he didn't know that the Raiders were going to do this quarterback carousel when he showed up. So he does have a point in that where he's just like, I came here to play with Carr, and then you go get Jimmy and then Minshew, and I'm sure that's probably what irritated him.
I just keep going. I go, Carr, go point at New Orleans. Like it's right. Like I'm just saying, like it's. I get it.
Carr's out the next 2 games, so.
Well, he got the next 2 games. He's
exactly.
Tyler and Brian is like 3 and 4. I mean, it's to me they'd be the same record right now. They'd be 2 and 3 under Derek Carr too. Tom Brady, just real quick, he gets. It looks like he's going to get a little ownership of the Raiders there. 10%. Can Tom be the next Jerry West of the sports world? Do a little announcing to start out, do a little ownership, do a little GMing, maybe eventually get rid of the ownership, become a coach. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Tom. I don't think he will. I think he's too much into like look at me kind of stuff too a little bit. So I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can grind like that anymore. So, but I do find that a little bit interesting. Huh?
I thought I saw a pretty cool video on him. He was like at a card show, and some guy had like the best Tom Brady collection you could have for cards, and Tom like bought 3 of them, and that guy seemed thrilled because they were worth a lot of money. He's like, man, I might be able to buy my dream house for what you're giving me for these cards.
Tom's a good man. He's a great man. We love I just can't help but think about some of like the odd little things he does. That's Brian, do you have an NBA fact of the week this week?
Yes, I do. I came prepared. It was the Paul George debut with the 76ers. He dropped 23 in the preseason debut. So I think that's going to be a big signing for the 76ers.
Brian, that is a very good NBA fact of the week here. Just real quick on a couple things here before we get to others. I want just to say the Warriors, they are undefeated, Brian, in the preseason. Does that matter at all that they're undefeated in the preseason? I don't think it matters.
Probably not.
This guy's going to be a big part of it, though. TJD, can he get Jackson Davis? They don't have any size, Johnson. There's very much size there at center. So this guy's going to be a big key. Wiggins, they come out. They said he was been sick. He won't play versus Detroit, but he's looking to play Tuesday. I'm going to go on 3 the Hardaway on Monday and do a podcast with them tomorrow. And they want to know what my thoughts are on the Warriors, Casey, this year. And right now it's hard for me to say 50 wins. So I'm going to just say like 46, 47. That's kind of to me where they could max out with this roster, unless a trade. I don't think they could. What do you think? Think that's too high? 46, 47?
No, I have them at like 51, just about a little over 50.
That's a good season if they get that high.
Wow.
I think they just have a lot more veteran players. I think they have a lot more depth. I feel like. I mean, they got about 10 guys that really can play and have played in the league. I think Buddy Hield will be nice player, stable. Kyle Anderson, rock solid. Melton, I think he's a solid player too. And you got Pajensky with another year under him. Moody always seems to be continuing to improve. So TJD, guy right there.
He's going to be key to me.
And they got Steph and, Draymond. So hopefully those two play like they play. I think they got the pieces around them. A lot more experience, I think, in what they're more in tune with.
This is always one of my favorite NBA highlights here. Before we go on to the next thing here, this is always one of the Lakers and the Warriors.
Yeah, 3 for 4. I don't think anybody's at 50%. Whoa! From the other county, and Kobe slaps him on the behind and gives him a smile and says, "That's good shooting, kid."
Kobe all over Steph. Steph said, "Wait a minute here. No, take this." Back and drains one.
That's always one of my favorite videos there. Just because you get that respect for the Mamba back then, that's high praise there. So the Warriors are getting started now. All that's going, Chase.
One of my headlines probably would have been a cheap shot. It was about Klay Thompson, so I decided not to go with that one.
That was great timing, Darren. I don't know how you pulled that one off, but as soon as you said Kobe, that number 24, our time was actually right there. That was pretty.
Wait, 24. Well done. We got Hey, Brian, we actually have a Bay Area guy. Looks like he went on the injured list for the Sharks here, but he actually kind of had me tuning in just for a minute here because he's the number 1 overall pick. He gets his first goal over here.
Shoveled along for William Eklund. Here is Celebrini pulling up, spinning, shoveling across. They score!
Little spin around.
People were saying, can Celebrini and the rookie from Chicago, can they start like a new rivalry? I'd love for the Sharks just to be relevant again after 5 seasons. That would be. Let's just start there, and then he gets.
They had a funny photo when they said they had to put him on the injured list. It looks like a photo of Keanu Reeves. He looks hungover on the bench.
Not Keanu. Keanu would never have that out there.
After the fourth John Wick, he was probably tired.
No, he had short hair in this one, so that was pre John Wick.
Pre John. I mean, like,
Was that
huh?
Was that your martial arts?
That's the martial arts that Keanu's doing constantly. Yeah, so they have the number 1 pick. He hits the injured list, but I thought that was kind of a good little note here at that. Made the Sharks to me makes them more watchable, right? When you have the number 1 overall pick, kind of makes you want to tune in. Ryan McGurk, not off to a good start there. So we're not there. So help me out with that. All right, winners and losers of the week. But before I get into that, actually, I wanted to bring up Tyler's question here as I kind of get into it. Tyler said, "What should we do? He hates the overtime in college football so much. I wish he was on to answer it, but he said, what did he tweet yesterday? He said something like, let me read it. He said, would college football be better if games just ended in ties? OT in college is kind of stupid." That's his elegant part. Do you think he's right? No. Or do you think they should just do like what the NFL does, and just do like a real kind of play? Like, is college football advanced enough where they don't have to start at 35?
I mean, I think it's tough because if everyone ties, it's going to be hard to, like, at the end of the year do the positioning for polls. I think that's the hard part. If you just do ties. I get where he's coming from.
You have people probably taking ties at the end of the year, huh? Maybe or something like that.
Yeah.
God, that's a game. We don't want a tie world. We can't do that.
No, I mean, I get like what Tyler's saying. It's not a very good product of overtime football. It's like kind of like something you do at Sports City. I don't know. It just seems way too reckless and loose and fast, and it's just 35 and go. And I don't know. It doesn't seem like football almost.
Brian, do you have a thought on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just at some point somebody's gonna have to get a victory. Like Casey said, you can have a bunch of ties for the.
Do you think college football should do it that way though, the 35-yard line, or do you think they should go back to like how the NFL has it?
I'd probably do the 35-yard line one, not the way the NFL does it. But that's just me personally.
We don't want those kiddos getting hurt out there.
I'm sure you were happy, Darren, that Ohio State took the loss to Oregon yesterday.
I was a little happy about that. That was a little good.
I was going to say, I don't really know how to fix that overtime. I mean, unless you do just a one score and done. Like kind of like the old school NFL method of just whoever gets the ball first and scores wins.
How about the Pat McAfee method? Just you have to get a fan to randomly kick a 35. What fan base can produce
33-yarder?
That was an impressive kick by that fan yesterday.
I didn't see that one. I did see the Cal one, but again, we didn't see that.
This one was a little bit more professional.
Brian, did you watch that Miami Cal game by chance? Did you stay up late and watch that?
No, I didn't watch it.
In case you're like Fort Bragg, last week we were watching the game, like staying up till midnight. We're like, this is pathetic. We can both see it happening. We're like, we need the time to go double speed. And they could hold on. And then they lose yesterday to Pitt, right? Case on a
field goal, and then the same thing basically.
Their season would be there with it. Well, I guess on those notes, do you guys have a good winner or let's go with loser of the week first with that? Brian, you got a loser of the week?
Yeah, I'm gonna go the Seattle Seahawks franchise after all that smack that DK talked before the game, and they just did. I don't know. Gino looked terrible in that game, and DK didn't do anything. So I don't know. I just feel like that guy. All he does is talk trash, and he doesn't live up to it.
Gotta live up to it if you're gonna run the mouth there. You're gonna, especially if you're a Seattle fan. There. All right, Casey, who do you got for loser of the week?
The Fathers, San Diego Padres. God, they had the Dodgers on the ropes and let them go, man. That was their chance, and then they just got smashed the last two games. I was really pulling for the Padres. I don't really hate the Dodgers like a lot of people. I was just kind of hoping the Padres kind of like the little brother of like it used to be Oakland, San Francisco, and the LA teams, and it feels like they're never quite in it. Like they're in it, but they're not. So I was hoping they take that next step. But
on Instagram, I told him, you ruined everything, Dodgers. You ruined everything.
It's funny that you say that about the Padres. I had them as well as loser of the week. So they score 6 runs in Game 3 in the second inning. They do not score a run the rest of the way. They go with, what is that? It's almost 3 games without a run. Yeah, that's about 25 innings without a run there being scored. That's their longest of the season. Not good timing on that one. Not good timing on that one. The Dodgers pitchers were nasty. That Phillips came in and was just that sweeper is. I mean, I don't know how you hit that if you're a right-hander and he throws that. I don't know how you hit that lay off that thing. That thing is. It kind of reminds me of remember Jeff Nelson. He used to pitch for the Yankees and Mariners. You remember that guy? Like him and Arthur Rose for the Mariners. It'd be like that's kind of felt like with the Padres had their chance, man. They also had Game 4 there at home, and they just couldn't get the job done. With it, pelvic thrust, we're not able to get it done there with it for me. I also had LeBron, his little tweet this week where he says, "Why are we flying to Milwaukee for one game in the preseason?" If people were like, "Because you make millions of dollars," because you know what I mean, like or stuff like that. So he got kind of roasted for that comment. I don't know how I feel about that. Just
I'll go to Milwaukee.
Kind of a LeBron statement in some ways too. I get his point. But I don't know.
I hate LeBron's videos where he pretends to be a WWE superstar with his son. I think they're the worst videos ever.
Oh, Brian, he's an artist. Yeah, that's what I said. He's an artist. Just letting it go. I don't know that tweet though about playing. Whenever you start making traveling kind of things as an athlete, I think you're going to get fans to question you a little bit on that stuff. That's going to be it. I think Tyler just said he worked like 57 hours a week or something like that. Like I don't think people are caring about your flying to Milwaukee for one game.
You ain't getting a lot of sympathy over in the blue collar.
Winners of the week. Brian, who's your winner of the week?
My winner of the week is the Oregon Ducks. They showed up and they had a big win against Ohio State Buckeyes, and you definitely have to say that they're a threat for the national championship now.
I thought Tyler saying he said it. He's like, I don't mean that this is him, but he said the Oregon quarterback kind of reminded him of Stephen Young. I'm not necessarily.
Whoa.
They said
let's pump the brakes on that one.
He said he had 3 interceptions on the year. All 3 came in the red zone for this game. But he did play well last night.
That's why I thought he kind of reminded me of Shane Falco.
You mean footsteps, Falco? Come on.
Winners want the ball at the end.
That would be a place I want to see a game though. Oregon one time. That'd be fun out there. When you got an atmosphere like that, that'd be kind of a cool experience to go see out there. That when they do those sky shots of like their stadium and on the baseball stadium, and they also have like the foot or whatever one of the other ones there. I'm like, gosh, millions of dollars there into that thing. That's a good one. I had new college football rivalries. That's kind of a winner for me. Like, I know I've complained about it a lot too. It's kind of Pac-12 losing stuff, but maybe Mark Brunell, a little Mark. Yeah, we can like that with it. But I also had I kind of like some of the new rivalries case we saw with like USC, Penn State. We had, Cal, Pitt. Even next week, I'm actually going to go to the game with Derek. Not saying this is a rivalry, but Stanford, SMU. Like these are like different matchups that you're like getting and teams you wouldn't see. So I guess from that standpoint, it's kind of cool that you do have some of these new rivalries. But I do obviously like the tradition of it. But what do you think do you like that stuff so far? Like Oregon, Ohio State too.
I think it, as much as I'd say it saved the Pac-12, which obviously it didn't, but I think it saved my interest because it was getting redundant watching a crappy UCLA and Cal game, or just like just god awful, like just football of Arizona, ASU, like Colorado, like it was not pleasant to watch. Like,
last night, Minnesota beat UCLA. They rode the boat last night. They got it done. Yeah. It was the Minnesota UCLA rivalry. You didn't know you needed. You needed that rivalry. You needed that one. Case, who's your winner of the week?
Mine's actually from Game 1 of the WNBA Finals. The link coming back from 18. coming back from 18 points in the fourth quarter. Pretty wild stuff.
Was it how much time was left when Stewart missed that free throw?
There's a
Yeah, there wasn't much time there. Casey,
the only guy who watches Chuck Norris who's going to go to WNBA. I love it.
Is it? I promise it was. He did not talk WNBA, and I let him out. That was not what happened. I did not cut him off because of that. I promise. I did not do it. My other winner of the week was Lane Thomas. He hit that grand slam yesterday for the Guardians. I believe in Stephen Votes. They advance to play over there. So loser of the week is College OT. We talked about that. So tune back into it. I just asked that question. Hopefully you heard it. I brought up that comment. Yes, that is a loser of the week. But both these guys like the overtime still the way it is. So, so I had Lane Thomas. He hits the grand slam. The Guardians play the Yankees, and then you also have now the Dodgers versus the Mets. So who do you like to just real quick? If you had to make those picks, who do you like to go to the World Series?
I'm probably gonna go Yankees Dodgers.
Case, who's your pick to go to the World Series? You have the Stephen Votes versus the Yankees, and then you got the Mets and the Dodgers. Yeah, New York versus LA, other New York team, and then you got, of course, Cleveland Rocks. We got it there.
I believe in Stephen Vogt. I believe in Stephen Vogt. I believe in Stephen Vogt. Yeah, I got the Guardians. You know that chant if you're an A's fan or an old A's fan. I got the Guardians, and then I'll take I don't want it, but I'll take the Dodgers.
The Dodgers get by. Ohtani gets to the World Series. An MLB dream. They have the Guardians that have not won a World Series in forever. Yeah, Xavier.
I thought it was cool the Ohio sports guys replay that scene from Major League when Serrano hits that home run, and Suzaki was his name, right? The Asian player. He was kind of razzing him because he wanted him to get it going, and he finally hit a home run, and he's getting all excited on the bench, and I thought that was a pretty cool video to share.
Colossae, the Cleveland closer, came out to what's this? I can't think. Oh, what's the song they do for Charlie Sheen's character? Wild Thing. He came out. Thank you. He came out to that yesterday in the 8th inning, and so that was pretty cool. Marbles, yes, he does have those marbles out there. Yeah, the Casey, the old school winner for you, or one more winner too. You have. I don't know. You guys probably heard about the hockey brothers that passed away last year. They're on that accident. Calgary did a really cool job of honoring him yesterday on a video. There, it was really it was more of a celebration of him. They did a really good job with that. I thought that was pretty cool for yesterday as well. And then Casey, for you, I would this week maybe we could do a little tease. This is that opening, right, for Ninja Turtle.
Down we go. Stay down. Did I mention I study martial arts?
Hey, what do you think this guy? Get it.
Help?
Yeah, you're gonna need it, kid. Come
It's that music that always cracks me up at the end. That little
Do you remember they used to have that high C drink or the ooze drink?
That was a great. That's one of the better intros. I always like that one. Even go back farther in that scene. I like that whole scene, leading up to it as well. So that's always a good one as well. So Casey, the keto, yes, that is the keto. I kind of only the first one's really good, but the second one is not bad either. I kind of enjoy
the third one's atrocious.
The third one's I haven't seen. I don't know if I've actually made it.
They go to China. It's not.
You said that like Donald. I'm just kidding. X-Men and Captain Planet have great intros. X-Men, are you talking about the Captain Planet? Captain Planet. Yes. I was thinking Captain America at first. All right, Captain Planet.
Land, water, fire.
The water, fire. That's great. You have that. All right, so that's kind of the end here with it. You got football coming up. Bears 28-10.
I just want to say there's the big game of the mornings that be Terrell's Commanders at Baltimore. So This is kind of a heat check game for Jaden Daniels. Can he handle the Ravens defense?
Terrell, a lot on the line, right, Johnson? That's a lot on the line.
And if you watch that intro to Ninja Turtles, Jaden will be just fine.
Did you guys, in case you go over to mom and dad to get to watch it over there?
Yeah, go over there, and then we're gonna go afterwards. Meet up with Amanda and Angela. We're gonna go to. Can't wait for that. Some deep dish Chicago pizza.
Ooh, we're going up there Petaluma for that one as well.
Nothing like throwing it back and throwing some good old pizza, man. That's like one of the best. I haven't been there for a long time. Do you guys like the deep dish?
God, I forgot. Yes, I love deep dish pizza. I almost die every time I eat it. That's the only problem. The cheese almost kills me every time. Case, loser of the week. I forgot too. We had to see Clay in a different uniform. That was a loser of the week. I had to get that one out there too. We had to see him in a Dallas Mavericks.
That was almost my topic. He's a little anxious to play with the Mavericks.
Brian, I'm a little nervous. We got Buddy Hield. Everybody's like, well, we get to run the same sets. I was like, I don't give a crap.
Buddy was on fire. He had like 28 points.
He was good. All right, so that was a good show, guys. A lot to get in. Tyler, I'm guessing internet issues, Brian. We got 10 extra from him in that one, so as well. So we'll see if I don't know if I'll be able to do a show tomorrow night.
It's time to get Xfinity Plus Wi-Fi for Tyler.
Then we get a little there with it too. So, all right, guys, have a good Sunday. All right, I'll see you guys next week for episode 195. All right, peace.
Peace.